transition of our reflection today, we need to be aware of a few things. One, the primary function of religion is, as far as I can see, the formal rendering and maintenance of meaning. So these are carefully chosen words. There's a whole philosophical and theological debate about whether meaning is a product of the animal, in our case, the human animal, or meaning is a baked-in feature of the universe. So either we make it or it already exists. And it's a legitimately scintillating debate. And I am entirely sidestepping it. Hence the phrase rendering and maintenance, as I believe such a phrase satisfies both camps, should any from either be in the room with us today. So we need to understand that religion is the formal rendering and maintenance of meaning. Formal because it has a form. It is repeatable. That rendering and maintenance is repeatable. And one of those forms is the categorization of time, which, often as not, tends to be rooted in the relationship between the earth, the sun, the moon, and stars. We are, planetarily, in our hemisphere's period of waiting. That period between the longest night and equinox. The deepest dark of winter has passed, and we anticipate the new shoot of spring. It's a period of not yet. It's a period of longing. So this planetary situation gets folded into religion, most close to hand in the Christian tradition, which, it should be noted, carries within it the logic of the subsumed pre-Christian traditions. So in the Christian tradition, the longest night is also the birth of the sun, S-O-N, which coincides with all the many pagan traditions that celebrate the birth of the sun, S-U-N, at that same dark time of year. So the Christian calendar is now days away from Lent, that time of longing for the resurrection, a time when Christians are encouraged to sacrifice something as a reflective prompt for getting in touch with their primary story and their own sense of holiness. So, we need to understand that religion is the formal rendering and maintenance of meaning. Categorizing time is a primary method of doing that. Many of these categories are tied to the planet's cosmic position, and we are currently in a position of longing. So taking a cue from almost every religion ever, which is to say, taking a cue from the wisdom of marking our space in the universe with meaning, we too are running a liturgical calendar. Unfortunately, a somewhat lost approach in much of Unitarian Universalism. So the word liturgy means the work of the people. And when it comes to calendar, it couldn't be more on point. For the work of the calendar highlights, the work the calendar highlights is yours to do. Collectively, we could hold space and amplify effect, but it takes your active participation in the rendering and maintenance of meaning for your life to be made more meaningful through the lens and tradition of Unitarian Universalism. Make no mistake, you will be making meaning whether you intend to or not, but wouldn't you rather intend to? and be supported in your intention? Wouldn't you rather participate in your life than default your life away? So here, together, we provide each other a platform through which to intend meaning into our days. The work of the people. So our calendar has a shape that's vaguely reminiscent of the hero's journey, with its descent into the other world for deep learning and eventual return to life for application of what we learned in the other world. And it begins in September for us and features a ceremony every month. So those ceremonies are meant to be opportunities for you to embody the meaning of that time of year. So today we'll embody longing. These are opportunities to move these holidays and meanings from the conceptual into the physical, and therefore become holistic and persistent avenues of meaningfulness over time, especially over time. If you've been here now with me, as I've been with you for 3 years, if you've been doing the All Souls ceremony, the water communion for that amount of time, each time we do that, you have the opportunity to look back and telescope through time. And those ceremonies become ruts in the best way that mark our lives. So as I said, we start with water communion and the refreshing of community by celebrating our mingling of our individual characters into a unified, if diverse, whole. And in October, we enter the threshold of the underworld by presencing our ancestors with our All Souls ceremony. And then we embark into the underworld with our soil communion, which celebrates the spiritual and biological composting taking place subsurface, in the depths, in the dreaming, in the dark months. December sees us deep in the bosom of night. It is there where we locate a light that gives us hope and that will be our guide as we anticipate the return of the sun in our fire communion on Christmas Eve. And that's our nadir. That's the nadir. And so the light, though it may be small, must be tended like an ember. Thus, in January, we celebrate our young flames, our children, and the child dedication. And now, today, we allow our longing to lead us as we make our way closer to the resurrection of life itself, when the dreams we now dream spring into the real, some 6 weeks from now. But we're still, at present, in the underworld, liturgically speaking, waiting on the cusp of life's return, and we long for it as the stirring seed yearns for the sun. It's hard to wait. Waiting is boring. But therein lies its gift. All the gifts of dormancy are available in boredom. And boredom done well is creative. But don't take my word for it. I have brought an expert on the matter, or I've brought a video of an expert on the matter. So if we could play that now. If I don't go to the gym, do I have to not take my phone, get out of it? So it might seem that happiness, where he wound up, is a sort of shallow and vapid thing to yearn for in the midst of an attempted authoritarian takeover. But we cannot let them rob us of our joy. That is a whole cousin to complying in advance. In fact, joy is one of the key components we have used thus far to combat fascism. So politically, happiness is actually important. But in truth, happiness is somewhat secondary to the practice of boredom. What's more central, as far as I'm concerned, is what causes that feeling, what causes happiness, which is nothing less than the power generated when we move from a constant state of reactivity into a state that is more in tune with what is happening in the immediate vicinity and interiorly. And boredom is the doorway into that state. So we long for peace, for justice, for connection, but when you can rest in your longing, it creates a sense of grounded spaciousness. And when you can find yourself in your longing, you generate power. You awake to beauty. For there is beauty everywhere. It is the ongoing unfolding of creation. It feeds us. It makes us strong because the beauty of the world is strong and we are of it. So here's the invitation. I invite you to participate in Holy, Holy, Holy Days. You can sign up on our e-bulletin or on the website. There's a little QR code you need to download. Signal will get you in a group where we could offer each other encouragement and support and testimony. You're invited to sign up to participate in our Holy, Holy, Holy Days. It's a practice that emerged in this part of the calendar between fire communion and the spring holidays and ceremonies. There was a literal hole in the calendar, or I guess a chronological hole in the calendar, a liturgical, religious hole in the calendar. So we've taken that hole and we've jumped into it and turned absence into practice and found their magic and donut holes. So during Holy, Holy, Holy Days, it's holy as in, holy, holy. And then holy, like holistic, or wholeness, and then holy as in like a whole. So Holy, Holy, Holy Days. It starts the day after Fat Tuesday, which is this Wednesday, and runs until Easter. And during that time, we commit to taking 5 to 15 minutes every day to do jack squat. Do not hike. Do not formally meditate. Do not guide your thoughts. Sit. Daydream. See what emerges in your mind. See what you notice in your immediate vicinity. Personally, I have found that my patience increases, my cool elevates. I begin to notice colors and scents and the shapes of light. I become more aware of the beauty all around me, and my sense of spaciousness dilates, and my sense of connection permeates. It's challenging, especially at first, to do nothing, but it is unexpectedly rewarding. Did anybody in here do Holy, Holy, Holy Days last year? Laura, did you notice, what did you notice when you were doing that? Anything interesting? So just a lot more observational clarity and right. So she said, for you, if you didn't hear, she said she noticed a lot more stuff and then also had this experience of kind of being more connected to it, more one with it, instead of just being a tool user. So, and I think that's kind of common. I mean, as we go through it, there's ebbs and flows to the experience, and if we're all there together, supporting each other on our group chat, that helps us get through the difficult times and then reaffirm the amazing things that happen. So just taking a little bit out of every day to do nothing becomes spiritual experience, especially in a world that robs us of our freedom by its insistence that we do stuff all the time, even if doing stuff is just doom scrolling. So holy, holy, holy days becomes permission to notice, permission to consciously be a part of your world. It feels really good. And the first thing to do is nothing, literally, for 5 to 10 minutes a day. Just lollygag, lull, daydream, just sit and wait. So that's the invitation, a little daydreaming. And should you accept it, please also then receive the blessing that goes with it. As we go into our holy, holy, holy days, may we make space in our lives for nothing to happen. May we notice and dream. May we make a hole in time. May what we find make us whole. And may we feel the holy in our lives. May we find the sweetness in life. May we discover goodness glazed with sweetness. And now, my friends, may we eat.